How you guys going? Good? I'm giving away points. How you going? What team are you from? 20 points over there.
And 50 for us.
Okay, I'm going to talk to you about finance tonight. Now, who's excited about that?
Yes!
It tends to be a bit of a dry topic. I know, it's 9:30, 10 o'clock. Okay, a bit of a disclaimer before we talk about asset protection and structure. Don't do anything until you see someone that is qualified. Everyone has a different situation here. So I'll be talking about a lot of different concepts tonight, and I've only got about half an hour, 20 minutes. So I'm going to go give you a bit of an understanding of some of the key fundamentals of what you need to know when you're buying property. Who thinks the property market is going really well at the moment? Yeah, we're in the most livable city in the world. I mean, you guys are literally walking around on acres of diamonds right under your feet, right here. If you just draw a circle of 5 kilometres of about where we are right now, you're talking about blue chip property in the most livable city in the world. So all the money to be made is right here. The key is you've got to have the knowledge. Would you agree? Yes. You've got to know what you're doing. You've got to have your level of awareness at a very high level. And that's one of the key fundamental things. Your success in real estate will be determined based on your level of awareness that you cultivate in finance. So what I'm going to show you tonight, a couple of things. Right? Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about how to optimise your residential property portfolio for growth, how to structure yourself correctly to make sure that you can continuously buy property one after the other. Also, how to structure your investment property portfolio. Ooh, it's going crazy now. Who like to save tens of thousands of dollars of unnecessary interest repayments to the bank and wipe 10, 15 years off their mortgage? I'm going to show you products that exist currently that a lot of sophisticated investors are using, a lot of people not aware of, where you can just refinance your current loan. Some of you might have this already. I'm going to show you how you can wipe years off your mortgage. And also why structure of a loan is far more important than the interest rate. I'm going to show you that interest rate is virtually irrelevant in the equation. And yet the public is very rate sensitive. We've been conditioned by the banking system to a large extent to think that the most important thing about loans is the interest rate, where really, for those people who have property, you will know that interest rates are probably the least most important thing when you're considering different loans. So 80% of success is psychology, and this is what you're going to learn over the next 3 days. Jamie's going to teach you a lot about success and psychology and having the right mindset. What I'm going to teach you today about finance and tomorrow about property is I'm going to show you the actual 20%, which is a specialised knowledge. And this is basically the stuff that you've got to implement, the strategies, the know-how. So once you have the psychology and you've got the belief systems and you've got the right software, then the next thing you've got to know is exactly what to do. Would you agree? So I'm going to show you exactly what to do in terms of how to implement these strategies to make lots of money. Now, who believes that money is an important ingredient when it comes to making wealth? Absolutely. So I'm going to show you how to get more of it, how to control it, not directly own assets, but how to control assets, and also how to structure yourself correctly. A bit about myself, my background. Wasted a lot of years at Monash University, playing pool and drinking beer at the tavern mainly. Nearly went out and did an MBA, more bad advice, but thank God I didn't. I'm actually a mortgage broker and a real estate agent as well. I've done a lot of different degrees. The most important thing about myself is that I'm a successful property investor. So everything that I'm teaching you tonight isn't coming from me as a mortgage broker or a real estate agent. It's coming to you as someone that's actually implementing the strategies and teaching others how to do it, which is very important. The most important thing about making money in real estate is find someone that's making money in real estate and copy them. That's it. Which is exactly what the schools have taught you not to do. Would you agree? In terms of career progression, I won't bore you to death tonight because it's late, but I've got a very conservative career progression from working. My first job was Australian Uni Funds Management, straight out of uni, 114 Albert Road, literally walking distance from this building. And I've worked in the banks mainly, in commercial lending, residential lending. I was a financier for the National Bank. I was doing a lot of mortgages, doing things like extensions to hospitals and radiology equipment for $1 million and setting up medical clinics around Melbourne. My passion has always been property investing. And if I can get the Whoa, okay. 21st Century Finance, I set that up in 2008. I had 13 mortgage brokers working for me. So I've trained mortgage brokers on how to basically become mortgage brokers and how to do loan structuring correctly. Currently, I run 21st Century Property Direct, which is the property division that we have at 21st Century Education. So a lot of the stuff I'll be showing you right now is exactly how we structure all our clients. The coolest thing about finance is that there's only one way of doing it. If you get it wrong, you'll get stuck with one property and you'll be maxed out. There really isn't different ways of doing finance. With property, there are thousands of different strategies. You can do buy and hold, you can invest in negatively geared property, cash flow positive property, you can do subdivisions, strata titling, developments, like the list is endless. Would you agree? With finance, it's either you get it right or you get it completely wrong. There's actually not much, variation allowed, which is pretty cool. Would you agree? Because you're either going to get it right or you're going to get it wrong. And the key thing is to get to people that know what they're doing. So number one, how do you optimize your property portfolio structure? The first thing is that, let's say the red house is your house that you live in, your primary place of residence, and you want to buy some investment properties. Could be 2 or 3. The first thing is that you want to keep them all separate. You don't want to cross-securitize your assets. So you want to have all these properties with different lenders in standalone loans. And also you want to make sure that you understand that your house that you live in is bad debt, it's non-tax deductible debt, and the investment properties are good debts. And the objective of the game is to accumulate as many of the good debts, the blue properties, and pay off your house. Mainly because your house stops you from borrowing more money for good debt. And that's the structure that I'm going to show you how to set up. How do you automate this structure, and rather than focusing on paying off your bad debts, you want to have your bad debts paid off through the structure, which I'll show you how that works. And it's all automated for you. Because you can do it the hard way, or you can just do it where you set it up once, turn the key, and you forget about it. Who likes that idea? And then you want to set up some lines of credit and get equity out, so you can do all sorts of stuff. Buy more property, buy businesses, trade shares, do whatever you like. Now, in terms of what our investors do, if you've got a property in your own name currently, who's got a property here, residential property in your own name? You've already done the wrong thing. You should not have property in your own name. If you're building large property portfolios, how many people here want to buy a lot of property over the next 10 years? What you need to know about wealthy people is that they control assets, not own assets. So you want to make sure that when you're setting up your loan, I'm not giving you advice here, by the way, on asset protection or anything like that. Warren will be doing that after myself. But I can tell you, as a mortgage broker, majority of our investors who have multiple properties buy them through corporate trustees and trusts, not in their own name. Mainly because it's easier to borrow money and you can borrow more money if you're doing it correctly. So if you do have properties in your own name, I definitely recommend you see one of our specialists, whether it's one of our mortgage brokers or one of our solicitors, accountants. And the other thing is, if you lose one property, if you've got 5 properties in your own name, what happens? It's a domino effect. So you want to make sure that everything is standalone, in different entities, different lenders, structured correctly. Now, here's one thing that I'm going to show you, which is, and this is the fundamental principle of loan structuring. Interest is calculated daily on the principal balance outstanding and charged monthly in arrears. Interest saved is better than interest earned. I'll show you exactly what that means. Now, let's say, for example, this is, I guess, how everyone looks at their mortgage. And I'm just going to give you an example. You go to a bank and you get a home loan. So let's say you go to the Which Bank and you buy a home and you've got a BSB and account number, and then you have your mortgage that you've got to pay every month. So you're working over here, you're a couple, and you've got a job pays you money, your pay goes into another BSB and account number, and eventually at the end of the month, what do? You pay your mortgage. And that's how people normally tackle their mortgage, because you want to pay off your mortgage. And obviously when the interest rates drop, we get excited because our repayments go down. But what if you change things? What if you set up a professional package and automated the whole system, where rather than putting your money into another account and it can sit there for a whole month and then paying off your mortgage, what if your job paid your salary straight into a 100% offset account? and all your pay went there, offsetting the principal balance outstanding on your loan every single day. And then you would live off a credit card, 44 days interest-free, and before the 44th day expires, your account would pay off your credit card. What would happen if you continuously do that and parked all your wages against your home loan every single day? Because remember, interest is calculated daily on the principal balance outstanding, charged monthly in arrears. Let me show you the net result. Without explaining the whole system to you, I'll show you a real example. And this is basically what it would look like where we automate everything for our clients. And the net result is that all your wages go into your bad debts and you're living off your credit card gets paid off. When I explain it to people, seemingly they say, well, what's the big deal, Konrad? I'll probably save a bit of money, maybe $1,000 or $2,000 in repayments per month, per year, maybe save a few months over the life of the loan. Let me show you the impact of doing this correctly and how amazing it is. Whoever said money can't buy happiness simply didn't know where to go shopping. So, the number one thing that I would encourage everyone to do is go to your bank, go to one of the 4 major banks and research something called professional packages. Now, professional packages have been around for a long time now, and these are specialised product packages that enable you to pay off your home loans a lot faster, saving yourself hundreds of thousands of dollars, potentially in interest repayments. The top packages are here. The ANZ, CBA, NAB, Westpac, St. George, they've all got different products. And I'm not going to give you one best package tonight because the reality is everyone in this room has completely different scenarios and situations. So not every package is appropriate for everyone. That's why the key is to sit down with someone who knows exactly how they work. And obviously you get discounts on standard variable rates for up to 1%. The current interest rates on these packages, by the way, are just under 6%, 4.8, 4.9. Now, if you go for the cheapest loan in the market at the moment, a standard variable loan, you're looking at high 4s. So there is a premium that you're paying for this. But let me show you why interest rates are not real. Why it's not the interest rate that's important on your loan, it's the amount of interest that you pay over the life of the loan. So let's look at a typical couple who are earning $55,000 per year each, and they've got a home loan, $500,000, 30 years principal and interest, with the cheapest possible rate. Now let's forget about rates for a second and let's do 8% principal and interest as an example. If you look at the home loan repayments, that's what it looks like. So you're looking at about $3,250 per month over 30 years. What would happen if you refinance that and set up a interest-only loan with a 100% offset, with a professional package and put all your salary in your bad debts? Look at that. The difference over the life of the loan is that you're saving yourself $407,875.76. Now, how long would it take a couple on $55,000 each to earn $407,000? And is that after-tax dollars? Yeah. So how long would it take a couple on $55,000 each to save $800,000? A lifetime. That's why most Australians end up with one house, paid off, asset rich, cash flow poor. Now let me show you a ridiculous example. Let me show you an example where we're comparing 6.5% versus 11.5%. Because realistically, if I gave you the option of 2 loans, 6.5% versus 11.5%, how many people without this knowledge would choose 6.5%? Absolutely. Why wouldn't you? You want to have the lowest interest rate because you think that translates to savings and time. Well, let me show you the difference between 11.5 and 6.5. Now, I've never seen 11.5 as an interest rate. I've just made up these numbers during all my time in lending. So I've never even seen products 11.5%. Here's 6.5, which is the cheapest. You're still paying the mortgage over 30 years. And here's 11.5 using a professional package that's automated for you. Have a look at the difference. $141,000. And you're saving yourself how many years? 16 years. So what the banks don't want you to understand is that with this particular product, it'll take you 14 years to pay off your mortgage, where this is going to take 30 years. And with this particular product, You know, in terms of the lowest interest rate, you're paying $645,000 in interest, where this one you're only paying $503 in interest. Interest rates are not real. It's the structure that's real. It's how much money you pay over the life of the loan. Because obviously your repayments go up, but you're only making the repayments over 14 years. Who thinks this is powerful information? You guys can have this tomorrow. This is easy. This is not even something that's high level. You can just go and set it up. You just got to talk to the right people. Money can't buy you happiness, but it can buy you a yacht big enough to pull up right alongside it. To fix or not to fix, we are currently at the lowest historical level of interest rates in Australian recorded history. Interest rates peaked at about 23% at one stage, which I don't even know how people were buying property at 23%. I mean, it's crazy. That's Russian mafia money, would you agree? I mean, currently, we're at the lowest possible rate. In terms of fixing rates, you can fix rates in Australia right now for up to 15 years. Who didn't know they didn't know you can fix for 15 years? Now you know, 15 years is the longest you can fix rates for. So you can take the risk out of the whole equation. Is it the right time to fix rates? Well, the RBA's kind of inkling there's going to be another cut. So I would personally wait, but then again, your scenario varies from person to person. Ooh. Who has heard before a lot of people say, what do I buy first? Cash flow positive property, mining towns, regional areas, or negatively geared property? Well, if you want to balance your property portfolio, if you want to accumulate ongoingly, the key is that you've got to have a balance between cash flow positive properties versus negatively geared properties. That way you can continuously buy more property and the bank will give you more money, providing you're buying the properties with the right cash flow. Interest rates now are being 5%. Anything around 8% is cash flow positive after all expenses, which means that it's putting money into your pocket after all expenses. And once again, we structure them as standalone properties, standalone structures. So what we do at 21st Century Property Direct with W Financial is we help our members to buy 10 properties over 10 years. And it's never going to be exactly one property per year. We've never seen a client that says on January the 1st every year, I'm buying a property, you know? It just doesn't happen. Some people never get to 10. Some people get to 6 or 5. We've got clients now over the last 5 years that have purchased 6 properties, 7 properties. And really what it looks like, most people start off with their house, they set up a line of credit, and they buy a cash flow positive property, for example. I'm just making these stuff up completely, by the way. There's no real person here. Then they skip year 2, and then they buy a blue chip property in year 3. And then they refinance that property, and they buy 2 properties in year 5. You know, they have a break in year 4, and then they refinance that blue chip property and buy another 2, and then they have a break in year 7, they refinance the house again, buy a cash flow positive, and then suddenly they buy another one, cash flow positive, and then negatively geared, and they turn around and go, oh my God, I've done 10 over 10. And that's really what it looks like. It's random. You're never going to know which areas that you're buying in today are going to go up faster than others because no one's got a crystal ball. You can do all the research in the world. And tomorrow I'll show you very cool indicators that will stack the odds in your favour. I'm going to show you the best suburbs to invest in Melbourne right now and the best opportunities and the best future hotspots in Melbourne as well. Who'd like to see those? So tomorrow I'll be back with property. Money isn't the most important thing in life, but it's reasonably close to oxygen. Only got to have its scale. Where to from here? Now, we're offering a obligation-free 30-minute financial health check with W Financial. And let me talk about W Financial a little bit. W Financial aggregates through Firstfolio, and they specialise in looking after property investors. So they don't look after first home buyers, they really look after people that are wanting to build large wealth through property. They specialise in unlocking equity, which is getting money out of a property to do things like share trading or buying more property, which is good. Restructuring finance. Most people that come to us have the wrong structure, wrong type of loans. And really, they haven't had the best advice. So what we do is we spend a lot of time fixing up problems, especially created by banks. Accessing better rates, understanding how to maximise your capacity. Every time you're going for a loan, you have to think 2 steps ahead. What am I going to do next after this property? And what's the best structure that will enable me to buy more property? And also direct access to 5 lines of wholesale funding. Director of the company is Michelle Coleman. Michelle, if you can just wave to the audience. There's Michelle there. Michelle is a bit of a celebrity in the industry. She's been featured on the cover of magazines, on the cover of property magazines. She's also a top MPA elite performer. She has a property portfolio herself of over $3 million. Is it important to deal with people that are successful themselves, yes or no? Yes. Absolutely. She's settled over $500 million worth of loans herself for clients, which is incredible. And the biggest month is $19 million. Just so you know, the average broker in a typical month will do 2 million, maybe 2.5 million. So it's virtually like 10 times more than the average person can do. She's superhuman. She's been featured in magazines, radio, award-winning performer. Basically, they've got access to all the lenders that are worth knowing in Australia. So if they haven't got access to lender, it's probably not worth going through a lender.